Hello guys, we're going to be reviewing the Asus VS238H-P LED PC monitor. I recently bought this monitor about 2 days ago. I have the unboxing video up. For those who didn't see it, please go check it out. So yeah, this monitor is relatively new. It's a LED TN panel with a 2 millisecond response time and a dynamic contrast ratio of 50 million to 1. Personally, I do not use the dynamic contrast ratio. I'm not a fan of that because literally what happens is, depending on what the monitor depending on what the picture is that the monitor receives, it tries to adjust the backlighting to best bring out the whites and the black. And with that, you can actually just literally see the backlight being adjusted in front of you. And it kind of like, to me, it just takes away from the experience. Like, say if the screen goes black, you can just see like the backlight just like gradually getting lower and lower, and then all of a sudden when the picture comes back on, and the backlight gradually gets brighter and brighter. It's, to me, I'd rather a more consistent backlight setting for the contrast. With that aside, the contrast ratio on this monitor is absolutely stunning without dynamic contrast. The colors are very vivid thanks to the LED technology, even despite the fact that the monitor's front screen is made out of an anti-glare matte finish as opposed to glossy. In my opinion, glossy gives a more vivid color reproduction as well as a brighter picture, because it's the material that's covering the LCD itself isn't diffusing and kind of dimming down the light. It's just letting it shine through. But the cons to a glossy display is glare. If you have a glossy display and there's any light behind or projecting light towards the display itself, you will see the light as well as any other objects that's giving off the light rays as well. You're gonna see it in the screen as well, and that's gonna take away from your experience because you hardly could see what's on the screen. I don't use this monitor outside, so that really doesn't concern me. So I'd rather a glossy finish, but nonetheless, the picture quality that I'm getting now is completely superb, and I greatly am satisfied with it. But so guys, this is just in the dashboard. I'm going to show you Gears of War 3. I'm just going to be walking around the map. Academy, I think that brings out the best in the contrast ratio and the colors. All the other maps and any other game I've played so far has looked completely beautiful on this monitor. My previous monitor was the a ViewSonic 24-inch LCD backlight display. The pixel dot size was 0.27 millimeters as opposed to this monitor right now, which is 0.26 millimeters. So like I said before, the smaller the millimeter size is the smallest detail that the monitor can reproduce. So this monitor can reproduce more crisp and more details in the textures as opposed to that other monitor. And I can clearly see that as soon as I boot the Xbox up into the dashboard, text looks more crisp. I can see more details and finer details in the pictures and all of that. The contrast ratio on the older monitor was 1001, and this is 1001 as well. But since this is an LED backlight technology, the contrast ratio is just usually automatically going to be that much more deeper and nice and more vivid. As of now, this monitor completely blows away, and I'm glad that I purchased this monitor. It completely blows away my previous LCD monitor. The response time on this monitor is actually faster, even though it has better picture quality, which I find astonishing. It uses less power. I think it runs at around 30 watts average, while my older monitor ran at around 45 to 50 watts because of the LCD technology. So guys, this monitor has a splendid technology. It's a button where it has like preset configurations for certain color and detail, color, sharpness, contrast, brightness, and certain set configurations. So I'm just going to show you the different ones. You have the one I'm on right now is theater mode, which I find brings out the colors the best without oversaturation and without having any washout. Then you have game mode, which kind of makes the colors a bit too happy to me. It makes the green too limeish as opposed to a darker green that I know the Xbox has. Well, the dashboard should look like. From game mode, then you have night view mode, which I think dims down the colors and the contrast to give you a more duller look, but it's better for your eyes during the nighttime when there's no other light sources around. Then you have standard red, green, and blue mode, which is good for people who are using it for professional photo editing or videos, so they can get like the most accurate color that the source is giving out. So the monitor is not editing anything, it's just accurate basically. You have scenery mode. Wait, let me turn this back up. So basically the dimness that you've seen was just because the Xbox was just not being touched, so it automatically dims the screen to reduce the chances of burning in on plasma screens. So yeah, you have standard mode, which is too washed out for me. You have theater mode, which is what I use, game mode, night view mode. I'm just gonna redo all these so you can better see it because the Xbox had dimmed everything. And you have standard red, green, and blue, scenery, standard, and theater mode, which is what I use. Let's boot up gears and show you guys how beautiful the contrast and the colors are that this monitor produces. I spent $189 total with tax for this monitor at B&H Photo Audio Video Professional Outlet Store in New York, 34th Street, Manhattan. You can get it online for roughly the same price. This monitor fluctuates at that price, so I wasn't neither overcharged or I wasn't under. I didn't get it. I didn't really get it at a lower deal or whatever. Amazon, I believe, has it the cheapest. So, but the reason why I get it from Amazon is because I don't really like to online shop when I know I can get a product in the store and get it today. Even if the price is just that much more, I just rather get it from the store. So I'm just gonna boot up a private. Let's just show you guys the picture quality. And in comparison to my HD TV, which is an LED 40, part of the Samsung LED series, it's capable of running at 120 hertz per second. The picture quality on my HD TV is absolutely stupendous. But for movie watching, this monitor is not ever going to replace it, obviously because of its screen size and the fact that it can't upscale the video to 120 frames per second. But for gaming, due to this monitor having way faster input lag and way faster response time, this is just a no-brainer. That's the reason why I even went to PC monitor for gaming, is because of the fact that they have less input lag and they have less response time. So for those who don't know, input lag and response time are different. Input lag is how fast the monitor displays the information that's been sent from the GPU, and response time is how fast the monitor can change the color of a pixel to another color. So my TV input lag, I think, was around 70 milliseconds, and the input lag on this monitor is roughly about, I think it's 805 milliseconds, while the response time is 2 milliseconds. So that is a drastic this decrease in input lag. So let me go find Academy. There we go. Just give you guys a quick show of how beautiful this monitor is in terms of its contrast ratio and its color accuracy and quality. Compared to my HD TV in color accuracy and contrast ratio, it's very close to it. I don't feel as if I'm taking a giant hit and downgrade when I go from my TV to this, as opposed to my older LCD monitor, where I can immediately see that the colors are washed out, they're not as detailed, even despite the fact that that LCD monitor is only 24 inches and my TV is a 40 inch, and my TV is still producing a more detailed image. Let's just show you guys the like I said before, contrast ratio. Just look how beautiful the contrast is. Just like, look at the lighting, it's just magnificent. The detail, the textures in this game. I never knew Gears of War 3 had this beautiful graphics. This monitor right here is actually more detailed and crisp than my TV, which makes more sense because the pixels are more crammed into a smaller space, so you get more detail. So I'm just gonna walk around the map. There's absolutely no input lag, no response time. It's just magnificent. The blacks and the shadowy areas aren't overly dark, it's just perfect. The contrast ratio, I really can't even stress how beautiful it is. It's just really, And the camcorder and YouTube is really not doing this any justice, because this is gonna look way better in real life. But hopefully you get a sense of how beautiful, like, just the contrast ratio of this monitor is. Like, just look at it. This game looks literally real. Like, the lighting just looks realistic. It doesn't look washed out and dull as my previous monitor did. And this monitor is really a steal for the price. I'd actually pay a lot more for this monitor and not regret buying it for that price at all. So this has pretty much been the review of the Asus VS238H-P LED PC monitor. If you have any questions or comments, feel free to ask out. Hopefully answer them to the best of my abilities. Thanks for watching, guys. Later.